It's not about price, it's all about value. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how to attract the most amount of buyers in the least amount of time to get your sellers the most money. I'm Cheyanne Terracciano, and this is the road to sold. Okay, everybody, it's time to talk about pricing. This is the most difficult part of a conversation with your seller because what your seller thinks the value of their home is completely different than what you may be finding in sales comparables or what a buyer may be perceiving in value. So here's how you have the conversation with your seller to make sure that they understand all the different concepts that a buyer is actually going to be looking at when they're ascertaining value of a property. One of the first key components your seller needs to understand is market time versus price. Now, once you guys select the price, you're going to hit the MLS and go active. At that moment in time, every buyer has access to your seller's listing. They're going to immediately pull it up on their smartphone, and they're going to quickly swipe through pictures. They're going to look at the price, and they're going to determine in their mind whether that home has value to them. If that doesn't have value to them, they're going to quickly move on to any other new listings that are in the area. If you're a seller, you need to understand that the very first 2 to 3 weeks is going to be the peak of when your house spikes in buyers' interest. If at that point in time you're not getting enough buyer walkthrough and you're not getting enough offers, you're not getting enough interest, it's time to consider a price reduction. Because after that first 2 to 3 week period of time, the interest is going to start to wane and it's going to fall off drastically. In today's reality, we're a very fast-paced world. Buyers have information at their fingertips. They've been searching for their perfect home for weeks and for months. They know if it's in the perfect neighborhood. They know if it's in the school district that they really need for their children. Did you know that location is 2/3 of the determining factor of value to a buyer? After they determine if the location is right for them, they're going to move on to amenities, which is the next biggest aspect of pricing your home. They're going to quickly look through all of the media you have attached to your property. Do you have great pictures? Is it staged just right? Does it have all of the features that your buyer happens to be looking for? Setting the right list price is going to take into consideration those two key components, location and amenities. If the location isn't quite right, maybe you're backing a major highway, or if the amenities are just a little bit lacking, maybe there's some deferred maintenance, or they don't really have the upgrades that some of its competition does in the neighborhood. That's okay. At that point in time, just make a price adjustment to make sure you reflect that. Now that you know the home is most marketable within the first 2 to 3 weeks that it's listed active for sale, and you also know the two most important factors to the buyer's motivation to write an offer on your home have to do with the location within the neighborhood and the amenities that the home features, you guys are sitting down and you're discussing price. You've determined the perfect price to enter the marketplace, and you mark the home active on the multiple listing service. During the first 1, 2, and 3 weeks, you're going to have to determine the amount of activity that you're receiving from buyers in the marketplace. If you're getting little to no showings, it's not just that the market is rejecting the price, the buyers are rejecting the value. If you are getting showings during the first 1 to 3 weeks, and you're kind of surprised by the amount of activity that's in the home, but you're still lacking an offer, the buyers are still rejecting the price. Something's not quite right. So after weeks 1, 2, and 3 have clicked by, it's time to have a very serious conversation and discuss reducing the price on the property. Because at this point in time, if there hasn't been enough buyer interest or activity with offers, then they're just not finding value in your home. Now, this shouldn't be a surprise to your seller, because when you guys decided to set the price of your listing on your listing presentation appointment, you should have made sure that you set expectations for this 3 to 5 week period of time when you were active on the MLS with no offers. Processing a price reduction on the home within the first 3 to 5 weeks is very important to making sure your listing remains relevant in the eyes of a buyer. If you make the detrimental mistake of letting your house remain active on the market with no price reduction past week 5, the house is going to appear as aged inventory. At that point in time, both buyer's agents or buyers are going to start writing low offers on the home. By doing a price reduction on the home, you're going to realign the buyer's perception of value and ultimately increase the opportunity of your sellers to get an offer. Remember, pricing does not have to be perfect. It's simply your job to counsel the seller on what a buyer is willing to pay. We hope you found these tips useful for your next listing presentation. Be sure to like and subscribe below for more great videos soon. I'm Cheyanne Terracciano with The Road to Sold.